Silverstone hosted the 8th round of the 2025 RCCO World EX Championship, which was the final regular event in the series before the super final at Daytona on the 4th of November. In a first for World EX, the racetrack was chosen by a draw on race day, just before free practice. The other two options were Spa-Francorchamps and Red Bull Ring. Ben Loxton, a performance engineer at Multimatic with experience in the BTCC, joined the unique sim racing series at Silverstone for his World EX debut, while Alexander Uhlhoff, CEO of STEM Racing Germany, explained the concept of STEM racing, formerly known as Formula One in schools, to the World EX community. He had just returned from the World Finals in Singapore, where Germany finished second, behind Australia. Defending world champion and world championship leader Devin Browner also set the benchmark at Silverstone, securing his 7th pole position of the season in 8 events, almost 1 second ahead of his Rocket Simsport teammate Callum Cripps and young German karting talent Jarno Wieser. This season, Browner had only failed to qualify on pole position at Indianapolis. A look at the top 10 of qualifying with Bodo Kralling securing pole for the reverse grid sprint. A total of 17 drivers lined up on the grid for the World EX Championship, the highest number in Season 8. It was not plain sailing for Devin Browner this time. The World Championship leader went off at Stowe on lap 1 when an attempt to overtake Chris Overend failed. Browner's situation worsened when he made contact with Björn Skotke on lap 2. Having dropped to 13th place, the world champion managed to recover to 4th, also benefiting from the mistakes of the drivers in front of him. He closed the gap to former world champion Julius Martin in the closing stages, but eventually missed 3rd place by 0.3 of a second. This was the first time this season that Browner failed to achieve a top 3 result. Having started from pole position, Bodo Kralling was able to hold the lead only until turn 15 of the opening lap, before being passed by Julius Martin. Martin seemed on course to secure his first victory of the season, but Jarno Wieser and Browner's teammate Callum Cripps closed the gap on the leader and attacked on lap 5. A slight mistake, exiting Stowe, sent Martin's EX0 off the track. Although he managed to rejoin in 3rd place and defend his spot on the podium, he was no longer in contention for the race win. Callum Cripps and Jarno Wieser put on a great show in the final 2 laps. While Wieser had lost the lead to Cripps just moments after passing Julius Martin, the German was able to use a tiny mistake from Cripps at Luffield on the final lap to get back into the lead. However, Cripps did not give up. He maintained the pressure, exploiting a minor error by Wieser in the final corner, resulting in an exhilarating photo finish. The 2 cars crossed the finish line just 96 thousandths of a second apart. Chris Overend recovered to finish in 9th place despite dropping far back early on. However, he failed to score a single point. There were some fierce battles, contacts and incidents during the sprint, which gave race control a lot of work to review all the action. A look at the results with the first win of the season for Jarno Wieser. The feature race was no less eventful this time, with drama beginning at the start when Callum Cripps stalled on the front row, causing Stefan Volter and Julius Martin to collide with his EX0. Having fought for the win in the sprint, Cripps dropped to the back of the 17-car field. However, he managed to recover to 6th place, albeit more than half a minute behind the winner. Devin Browner made up for his unusual performance in the sprint, pulling ahead of the rest of the field lap by lap. He eventually crossed the finish line 12 seconds ahead of Jarno Wieser and 20 seconds ahead of Chris Overend, who enjoyed a much better feature race. Robin Hay was 4th for TV Racing, ahead of Julius Martin and Callum Cripps. Behind the top 4, the feature race was full of drama right from the start. Even before the start line, we had already witnessed the incident involving Cripps, Volter and Martin. Contact between Patrick Vincinek and Luke Pound at the first turn resulted in a chain reaction that caused Thomas Vogt to spin out. Stefan Volter missed a braking point on lap 1, causing Bodo Kraling to spin wildly. And there were even more intense battles and incidents than in the sprint, which meant that race control had more work to do after the checkered flag. Here are the results of the feature race, in which Devin Browner secured his 50th victory in the series. Following the conclusion of the regular season, the starting grid for the Super Final at Daytona has been set, with Devin Browner and Jarno Wiese sharing the front row on November the 4th.
Let's go.